all very welcome here at the Thomas More Law Center Club of Michigan's year-end event, and we are very honored and blessed to have Brigitte Gabriel here to speak to us about a very interesting topic. I wanted to introduce you quickly to myself. I'm an attorney at the Thomas More Law Center. I'm also Director of Communications and Development. Many of you are not familiar with the Thomas More Law Center. We are based in Ann Arbor, Michigan. We are a nonprofit public interest law firm. We are faith-based, Christian-based, and we have three major topics that we endeavor in, and that is life issues, traditional family values, and religious freedom for Christians. Our founder, Richard Thompson, many of you know by reputation, who's sitting to my right, was the Oakland County prosecutor for 24 years locally here. Many of you will remember his prosecution of Dr. Kevorkian. And because of that unpopular prosecution, but righteous prosecution, the Oakland County's loss was the Christian public interest law firm's gain. Because in 1999, Richard Thompson founded the Thomas More Law Center. And he did so to combat groups like the ACLU and other groups that have not America's best interest at heart. We are a patriotic organization, and we fight the battles here and wherever across the nation we need to. We're involved in over 40 states in litigation, and we've done so since 1999. With that, I'd like to introduce our Chief Counsel and President of the Thomas More Law Center, Richard Thompson.
Thank you, Brian. And let me also personally welcome you all here today. It's really a pleasure and privilege to introduce a person whom I believe is a modern-day Paul Revere. She is calling America to arms, and she is warning of the dangers that we face. Brigitte Gabriel became one of the leading terrorism experts in the world, providing information and analysis to global Islamic terrorism. And one of the reasons why you see a lot of men with earpieces, bodyguards, is because of the strong stand she has taken. She is a member of the Board of Advisors of the Intelligence Summit and lectures nationally and internationally about terrorism and current affairs. Her expertise is sought after by world and business leaders. She has addressed the Australian Prime Minister John Howard, members of the British Parliament, members of the United States Senate, the Joint Forces Staff College, the U.S. Special Operations Command, the FBI, and many others. In addition, Gabriel is a regular guest analyst on Fox News channels, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, and various radio stations daily and across America, and I'm sure many of you have heard her on those stations. Ms. Gabriel is a former news anchor for World News, the Arabic evening news broadcast for Middle East television, seen throughout Israel, Egypt, Syria, Jordan, and Lebanon. Ms. Gabriel emigrated to the United States in 1989 and founded a television production, marketing, and advertising agency. Her clients include ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News, The Oprah Winfrey Show, Dr. Phil, Discovery, History, and National Geographic, just to name a few. Ms. Gabriel is founder of ACT for America, a nonprofit organization dedicated to educating millions of uninformed citizens about the threat of radical Islam to world peace and national security. She is the author of the New York Times bestseller, Because They Hate, a survivor of Islamic terror warns America. Her new book, just released, They Must Be Stopped, Why We Must Defeat Radical Islam and How We Can Do It, became a New York Times bestseller 4 days after it was released. And I might add, after the program, you may purchase a copy of the book, and she will kindly autograph it for you. Ms. Gabriel is named one of the top 50 prominent speakers in America. She speaks Arabic, French, English, and Hebrew. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brigitte Gabriel.
Thank you very much. I am honored and delighted to be here today, and somehow every time I come to Detroit there is snow on the ground. I don't know if it's a conspiracy or what. I'd like to think it's the white-hearted people of Michigan welcoming me into their state. I thank you for coming here tonight to hear me speak about an issue that is very important at this time in our nation's history. The topic of Islamic terrorism and the threat of radical Islam to world peace and our national security in particular. National security is the most important issue, no matter what other issues we care about very deeply. And I'm sure every single person in this group has a lot of issues that they care about, and we might not all agree with each other on a lot of issues. However, the issue of national security and the protection of our freedoms and the safety of our Western civilization is one of the most important issues. Many people don't realize that radical Islamic terrorism began a long, long time ago. It actually began, well, worldwide and in recent history in the Middle East. But America was attacked the first time, not on September 11th, 2001, but America was attacked the first time in 1979 with the rise of Ayatollah Khomeini with the hostages in Iran. It was under a democratic president. America was attacked in 1983 with the bombings of the Marines in Lebanon under a Republican president. America was attacked under George Bush Sr. administration. America was attacked under the Clinton administration. It was actually under President Clinton that the first attack occurred on American soil in 1993, the first bombing of the World Trade Center. It was actually also under the Clinton administration that the Taliban trained 10,000 Al-Qaeda members in Afghanistan. George Bush Jr. wasn't even a blurb on the political American landscape. And of course, America was attacked again under the George Bush Jr. administration. So it didn't matter what type of administration we had, whether a Republican or a Democrat. America was attacked simply because it was America and we were Americans. And of course, September 11th happened. And here we have today President-elect Obama. And we all know that an attack against the United States, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Whether we elected Obama or McCain, it wouldn't have made a difference. A lot of people thought if we just elect a Democratic president, all our worries will be gone, Al-Qaeda would love us, the threat is going to be gone, everything is going to be fine. Well, of course, 2 days after the election, Obama came out with their first press release after the election, with Osama bin Laden giving orders to all his troops to launch the attack against the United States, a new attack that will make 911 seem like nothing. The orders came out of Yemen, which is a barometer where we measure all the intelligence that's coming out. The Al-Qaeda troops are on their way to the United States to attack the United States. They are calling for the death of President Obama because they are naming him Murtad or apostate for basically converting from Islam to Christianity. And they have launched war not only against America, we know they hate us, but also against President-elect Obama, who, by the way, has already been briefed. The G summit that was meeting in Washington, D.C., all the European leaders have been briefed as well. Security is at its highest alert in the United States, especially in D.C., because of President Obama, and especially during this transition period. I come to the issue of terrorism from a very, very unique point of view because I know